What's up, everybody? This is Wadey G from the G-List Society. You can check out our blog each and every day at www.glstsociety.com. I have an exclusive interview with a great special guest. You've seen him in some of my recent videos. He was at the inauguration party that I attended in D.C. back in January, and also I featured his new song, his new single called Nothing, which is coming from his upcoming album, Angel Dust. And I'm excited about the song, and I can't wait to talk about what's to come from this new album. But I want to introduce you to Marck Angel. What's up, Marck?
Hey, what's up, Wadey? What's up, everybody? I'm excited.
I could tell because, you know, I said, I remember hearing the single when you first dropped it, and I said, oh, my God, I got to put this up. And then I said, I couldn't do it right away. And then when I got your email or, you know, the press release for your song, I said, okay, now I got to put it up because he probably already know I've been checking it. And
right.
I want to talk about the song because it's very in your face. Like, some ex-lover must have pissed you off, and you let him have it in the song. Tell us about the song Nothing.
Well, the song actually kind of tricks you at first because a lot of people have come to me and said, oh, my gosh, it makes me so happy, and because it feels so light and fluffy and poppy. But then I said, well, you guys got to listen to the lyrics. And they go back and they listen to the lyrics. They're like, oh, my gosh, you're really cursing this fool out. So, ultimately the song, I was kind of very in my sort of Kesha, sort of Avril Lavigne type feeling of, you know, that type of pop song production-wise. But lyrically, it definitely is about a past relationship where you're not supposed to make anyone ever make you feel like nothing. And it kind of pushed me to the point where it says, you know what, if you're going to try to make me feel like nothing, you know what, F you. I'm going to make you feel like nothing. This is how I feel because I've been holding my feelings in. So the song actually derived out of a conversation that I had with a very good friend of mine. And I was feeling mighty bad. I was feeling mighty low one day. And he came to me and he said, you know, Marck, you're never supposed to let anyone make you feel like nothing. You've been through too much. You've come too far to make anyone make you feel like nothing. So that's where the song came from.
Oh, wow. I mean, you know what? And that's what you call a true friend right there, because now I see the song in a whole new light. I mean, it's great that it is a kiss-off song, but it's also empowering because you're letting the listeners know, just like your friend lets you know, look, just because this person did you wrong, you don't need to make them feel like you're less than. And I could definitely apply that to one past relationship for sure. So, wow, great job, dude.
Thank you. It's been received very, very well, and I'm still getting people just sending me texts and sending me Facebook messages and emails, and it really feels good to kind of be back with new stuff.
And exactly, because, let's see, we're going to get into the new music, but you only released, last year you just only released a song for a soundtrack, and we didn't get a whole new album yet. Am I right? I'm trying to remember.
Right. Right. So the first, right, I'm listening.
No. Go ahead, because Deep was the song that I really loved last year, and I remember the beach video with Brian. I thought that was one of the cutest videos I've ever seen, and I remember when I put it out on my website, you said, wait a minute, how'd you get it so fast? And because everybody was eating that video up, just as well as the single. And I could see that same thing happening for Nothing because, this one is definitely relatable. By the way, are you going to do a music video for Nothing?
No, actually, Nothing is just the buzz single because we have I've probably worked for the last year and a half on the album, and we're still working on it as right now, actually. So Nothing was just a buzz single. We had so many good songs for this project, and it was like, okay, I want to come back with something. I want to have it as a free download because I just want to let the kids know, hey, I'm here, I'm back, I'm doing something new. But we have so many good songs and so many good songs that could possibly be singles off the album. So it was like, okay, which one do we bring out first? Nothing to me kind of sets the tone for what the album is about. The album is definitely about, finding myself again in self-love. So I guess we'll talk about that in a little while because we'll probably talk about what the album title means and all this other stuff like that. But it's just
you answer that because this is sounding really good. You got a song that's very empowering, and it seems, and you're saying that's basically the theme of Angel Dust. I would love to hear more about that.
Well, Angel Dust, actually, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek because it doesn't mean the drug Angel Dust, of course. It's kind of, of course, coming from, quote-unquote, Marck Angel. But Angel Dust means being high on self. I went through a lot of things over the past, I guess, 4 or 5 years or so. So over the last 2 of writing the album, 18 months of writing the album, I kind of had to remember myself and get back to self. And the album is about being high on self, but in a positive way. Self-love, self-love, self-empowerment, self-encouragement, self-identity, self-confidence. It's a lot of realizing that everything that derives out of you really comes from self, and you're taking that self and co-creating your existence with God. That's what the album is about. And I'm just touching on some stuff that, for a couple of relationships that I had that were really, really tough on me as a person and as an artist, and just me not being able to be myself. So I finally got a chance to kind of take from that and put it, quote unquote, on wax and just kind of get it off my chest, really.
Yeah.
So the album is Nothing has sort of a real kick to it. There are a couple of other songs that have some kick to it as well, but I wanted to sort of give the arc of the story. Okay, this happened to me, but this is what I went through, but I don't want to let it affect me in a negative way. I want to come from it in a positive way, and hopefully that's what's going to connect with people. Because even with Nothing, it's kind of like, fuck you. And so hopefully someone who's out there feeling like they're nothing can listen to the song and say, you know what, he went through this, and he's come through it in a positive way, and maybe I can do it too. So
absolutely. And I'll tell you, that's what's so smart about the single Nothing, because you mentioned that people were so happy about it because of the production and the feel-good of the sound of the music, but once you told them to get into the lyrics, it was not only, basically they went from feeling poppy to feeling a little angst. Because it's a kiss-off song. A kiss-off song really just tells you that, look, I'm going to point my finger in your face and tell you about yourself, but at the same time, I'm letting you know, too, that I'm living my life as golden. So, you know what? If that's what we can expect from Angel Dust, I'm sure people will eat it up, especially over here at the G-List. So we're really, really excited to see what you got going on. And just from, like you said, you're talking about your own experiences. Apparently, you've written the album yourself. Who have you been working with as far as guest artists or producers?
Well, I'm an advocate of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
All right.
So I've gone back to production-wise. I'm probably producing about 90% of the album myself, which I've done in the past. A lot of people don't know that. That I
actually damn.
Yeah. I minored in college in audio engineering, actually. So
And I can tell.
So, combining, I guess, the technical aspect with the creative aspect, I enjoy producing and writing as well. So I learned that from, the days of, watching Janet and Michael and Stevie, looking on the back of, CD covers and cassette tapes. It was always, Janet writing, producing, or Michael writing, producing, or Stevie writing, producing, or Lionel Richie writing, producing. It was the artist that I paid attention to the most. That's who I kind of learned from. So growing up, I thought that that's what you had to do. I thought you had to kind of do everything yourself. So that's kind of where I got
right.
it. But
I mean, especially because you're an independent artist as well, and I know putting together an album can cost money, and and if you're that skilled where you not only can write and sing your own songs, you could produce it. I'm sure you're saving a lot of money and creating hits at the same time. So that's really awesome. Now you do mention, quite often that you have been inspired by the king and queen of pop, Janet and Michael.
Right.
I mean, who are your other influences as far as who is Marck Angel, the artist?
Of course, Tevin Campbell, who I'm supposed to see in D.C. hopefully at the end of March. But I think he's performing somewhere in D.C. at the end of March. New Editions, Ralph Tresvant is also another one. Marvin Gaye. A lot of the, I would say, I guess, the high tenors of music and entertainment is kind of who I gravitated to, because growing up, I I'm not having this baritone, voice. I got to kind of gravitate to artists that I kind of sound like vocally. So that's what I learned from. I learned from Janet. I learned from Ralph Tresvant. I learned from Tevin Campbell and Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson, a lot of the real soft tenors and high tenors in, the music world.
And you know what? I have to tell you, I really appreciate that answer, because one of the biggest pet peeves I hear from musicians when people ask who are you influenced by, a lot of the artists, I think they say certain names just to be cool. You'll hear people say Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, but I'll get to how I relate you to Marvin Gaye. But like Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, everybody who was the icons and stuff like that, and some of them don't even sound nowhere near them.
You can't forget El DeBarge either.
Exactly. And with you, all the people you mentioned, I do hear that in you. I hear the Ralph Tresvant, I hear the Smokey Robinson, the El DeBarge, the Tevin Campbells and stuff. So of course, I've always heard Michael and Janet in your voice. So, it's really, I have to applaud you just for being so real in your influences, because you could be influenced by whoever. And, no judgment to everyone else, but a lot of times I hear people say names where I don't see it, I don't hear it, I don't feel it. And I do with all of the people that you mentioned in your music and stuff. And again, I'm just so impressed that you produce, right, and of course you sing, but you produce and write. And for those who don't know who Marck Angel is, those who've been higher in the rock, he does choreography. He does choreography. But get into your voice and stuff. What I was gonna save it until like the very, very end. I asked the subscribers to the G-List Society, and for those of you who haven't subscribed, so you can get the new daily post in your email inbox, go to www.glistsociety.com. Make sure you go to the top of the page and subscribe. I asked certain subscribers to give me some questions to ask of you when they want to hear from you. And a couple of people in particular, which I've asked you this in person, but you can address this yourself, about your voice. They say, is this his voice? One says, is this his voice 24/7? And the other person asks, is this his singing voice? Does he have like a bass voice like Michael Jackson does when no one else is around?
This is my voice. What I say to that is my father also had a very soft voice. They used to say he sounded like a little boy too. So that's where I get it from. My father had a beautiful falsetto voice. He passed away, but he had a beautiful falsetto voice, and well, that's a good question. He was actually, looking back on my life, he was actually my first influence into music. When he used to play his music he used to have a house in Long Island, and his musical set was down in the basement. And I used to go sit at the bottom of the staircase and just listen to him play, Anita Baker and Michael Jackson and old Motown and the OJs and just a lot of old soulful artists. The only white woman that he played in the house was Barbara Streisand.
Wow.
So that was, people say, well, I know Michael Jackson influenced you and Janet Jackson influenced, but no, my dad was my first musical influence, and I credit him for that, and I credit him for the softness of my voice as well. So this is my voice, speaking and singing.
I heard that. Well, I've gotten that a lot myself. In fact, one of my coworkers told me earlier today to put some bass in my voice. I said, man, if I heard that, if I got $1 for every time I heard that, I would be rich by now. I mean, it's funny. Like, the only time you're going to hear some real bass in my voice is when I first wake up in the morning, and when I get on the phone, people would not believe it's me. But,
right.
Yeah, it is me in the morning.
And I used to be really shy to talk to it growing up because my voice was always so hot. Like, in 7th grade, every guy's voice normally changes, and kind of mine really didn't, and stayed, pretty much stayed the same. And I used to be really shy. I didn't even want to talk it sometimes. But my mother, and then I got into music, and my mother was like, you know what, Mark, you have this voice for a reason. And in your heart, if you believe it's to sing, then sing it. Use to sing. That's what's going to set you apart from everyone else. That's what's going to give you your own lane. So I just always remembered that, and I'm not really afraid to speak. If someone has a weird reaction to it, I'm like, no, this is my voice. This is who I am.
That's good. I mean, no apologies about it. I mean, that's what makes you very good and unique as a performing artist. Another question that I've got actually 3 times, asked in 3 different. Well, no, actually, they're all asked in a very similar way. Is Mark Angel single? One said, "You are fine as hell."
Well, my music is my diary, so that's kind of the excerpts and the little piece that I give into as far as my personal life and my relationships, and I kind of want to continue to keep it that way. What I will say is that I'm very happy, whether with someone or without. I'm very happy, and that's all I want to say about that.
Oh, that's right. In other words, to you 3 people who asked, and probably everybody else, get to know him for his music. If you want to get to know him intimately, you're going to talk to him first when you ain't going through me. But and then a couple other questions, which actually is a question that I have for you. First of all, when is your new album coming out?
It's due out late spring. This time around, versus the Trademark EP. The Trademark EP was kind of like, let's put together a collection of 6 songs and put it out there and see what happens. And thank God it turned out really good because one of the songs was on the soundtrack, and then, you know, songs I performed in, and DJ played a lot of stuff on the Do Dirty show, which I didn't even know he was playing. And so it worked out, and it was kind of like a learning experience. This time around, we've kind of sifted out what doesn't work and kept in what does work. So we're looking at it more as a project. As I was saying before, with the artist, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm working with Billy Hood again, of course, for the single Nothing. Billy Hood was on it, and I worked with him on a song that I did with Swanee River called Earth Angel last summer, which won Out Hip Hop R&B Song of the Year. So Billy Hood, Bryant, right? I know a lot of people are waiting for me and Bryant to do something again. So we've been talking about what we're going to do. So hopefully it'll be something really, really hot. I actually have finished most of my vocals on the track. He just has to do his vocals on the track. Who else am I working with? Darren is supposed to hit the studio sometime in March for a collaborative effort.
This is going to be for the album?
Yes, this is all for the album.
Y'all need to make sure that happens, because I would love that collabo, because you have a pop sound and his style is so eclectic. I think the combo between you two will be crazy. Because even like I said on my website, I do love the song Nothing. I would rather hear it with just only you on the track. Nothing against Billy Hood, because Billy Hood is very nice. I love his skills. But if you do like a remix or an extended version, I just only want to hear you. But a collaboration with you and Baron, oh my God, you better send it to me first, because I'm eager to hear that.
The track is hot. It's definitely a house dance sort of electronica. Production-wise, this album is a lot of places, but still Mark Angel. I just wanted to make sure that I still kept the Mark Angel sound and brand, but I'm trying to venture so many different places production-wise. With the production, I'm working with Swanee River again. He sent me an amazing track. I think we're trying to get Verbal Science. Either Verbal Science or Chaos might be on that track.
Get Chaos. Please get Chaos.
Right. Well, it was also whatever Chaos is already.
And nothing against Verbal Science. I'm not as familiar with Verbal Science, but I'm a huge fan of Chaos. So. Right. Yeah.
Right. And I worked with him before too. So he's so great to work with, so down to earth. And who else? A couple of I might have a track or two with my old producer Joey Two-Tone as well. The album is really shaping up. I'm just want to make sure that I pick the right, say, 9 or 10 tracks and really tell the arc of the story, the Angel Dust story. So.
Good. Oh my God. So this is going to be exciting. Seems like it's going to be really exciting. So you're talking about in the spring release. So being that it'll come out in time for the Pride season, what kind of promotions are you planning to do for the album?
We are planning to have a couple of listening parties, which I will definitely send you an invite for. Definitely.
Ooh, okay.
It'll probably be in a few cities. We'll probably have a listening party in a few of at least the East Coast cities at this point. And the other stuff I can't say yet. Wadi. I know. Mark.
You've known me for a few years. My name is Wadey Boo. Wadey.
Wadey, you're right.
It's okay, hon. It's okay.
So yeah, it's a lot of stuff is brewing in the backgroround, but I know Shayla would be Shayla's my PR girl. She'd be quite pissed off if I said a whole
you'll know the perfect time to let us know.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We're trying to really approach this very strategically this time and just make it really a project and not just throwing singles out there and, you know, letting me see how it happens, but really making it a project and really making it an album and really taking from, you know, the good days of when actually, you know, pop and R&B actually had albums and projects that lasted and, you know, singles that came off that lasted for, you know, a length of time and make people really remember the magic of that album and the power of that album. So that's what we're trying to do.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because that's really the kind of platform I want to give our out musicians on the G-List Society because, I mean, I haven't really publicly said until now that the intention of the G-List Society and giving people platforms, I want to give you guys a platform the way celebrities get it on the mainstream blogs, and especially for music, just because I'm very passionate about music. So if you got a single, I want to release that single. If you got album cover, I want to let everybody know you chose your album cover. You put out what the song titles are and the whole thing because, of course, and I'm so glad, too, you said I'm not just going to be dropping singles just to be dropping singles because a couple of these artists are getting on my nerves with just dropping random songs, and especially when 80% of them are very disappointing. No shade to any of them. But overall, I'm just glad that to me, you're taking your craft and your music very seriously. I'm going to wrap up this call wrap up this interview because we're about to be a little bit over time. So I want you to get in some shout-outs as far as where the fans can find you, new and old, because we're going to get some new ones here with Nothing and new album. So let us know where we can find you.
You can always find me at www.marckangel.com, and that's Mark with a C and a K, marckangel.com. We're actually fixing up a new site right now. So right now, marckangel.com goes to my Tumblr page. So we're trying to create a brand new site. So marckangel.com. You can reach me on Facebook at Marck Angel, or you can find me under Marck Angel Fans. So there's two pages. YouTube, Marck Angel. Instagram, Marck Angel. If you Google Marck Angel, all that stuff will come up. So
and we're getting about the music, child. You got music to buy. You got music to sell.
Yes.
You're on CD Baby. You're on Bandcamp.
Yes, CD Baby, Bandcamp, iTunes now, Amazon, all of the Spotify. Oh gosh, Reverb Nation. The list goes on and on and on and on.
I mean, there's no people only have one of the music sites. You got the whole nation of sites, so there's no excuse for anybody not to be able to find you. Look up MarckAngel. That's all you need to look up. I want to say it's great to have you, Marck. As always, it's always great to run into you. Hopefully we'll run into each other by the time your album comes out because, like I said, I'm excited. You're already hitting a home run with the song Nothing. Is there any last words you want to give to your fans before we get off?
I just want to say that please go out and support the single Nothing, and please go out and support the album Angel Dust coming out early spring or late spring. And support not only me, but support the out music movement in general. We need your help. Our community had to take us seriously way before the mainstream community can. So please support us. And Waddy, thank you so much for not only supporting me, but the movement in itself as well.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank you for being a guest here. Make sure you go get his single, y'all, and then we'll give you more news about his album. This is Waddy G. Oh, wait, and you guys stay tuned because we're going to play Nothing right after this song or right after this interview, and you could always check it where we played it first on www.glstsociety.com. Bye, everybody.